afternoon, everybody. I'm Positively Tampa Bay. Today, we continue with our series commemorating Black History Month. The Tampa Bay area played a role in the history of the rhythm and blues, and in more modern times, even inspired Chubby Checkers to do the twist. Joining us with more is local historian, Mr. Fred Hearns. Thank you so much for coming in. The twist, what's that about?
Well, everybody knows that Chubby Checkers sings and does the twist. He's been doing it now for quite a few years. But the twist was actually a Tampa invention. And the guy who originated the song, who wrote the lyrics and the first one to record the music, was Hank Ballard. Hank Ballard was here in Tampa traveling on what was called the Chitlin Circuit, when the black entertainers would travel around from city to city. And he saw these kids on Central Avenue doing this dance. He asked them what it was and said, "It's just something we made up. We call it the twist." This was in 1958. Hank Ballard went back to his studio, wrote the record, recorded it. 2 years later, Chubby Checker began singing it on American Bandstand, thanks to Dick Clark. But the twist actually started here in Tampa.
There was a lot of music happening on Central Avenue in downtown Tampa. Tell us about that.
Well, a lot of this revolves around the Jackson House, which is the oldest house still standing in downtown Tampa. It dates back to 1900. When a lot of the African-American entertainers would come to Tampa to perform on Central Avenue, many of them would stay at the Jackson House. And the most famous of all of those was Ella Fitzgerald. And according to Sarah Jackson Robinson, who lived 89 years old, she lived her whole life there at the Jackson House, she remembers Ella Fitzgerald sketching out the words to a Tisket a Tasket at her kitchen table on Zack Street.
Oh my goodness, and you have found a way to share these wonderful local history stories with the younger generation. Tell us about the African American Research Library that you're working on.
Well, thanks to Hillsborough County, in October 2014, we'll be cutting the ribbon to a brand new Robert W. Saunders Public Library, and also an African American Cultural Arts Center, as well as an African American Research Library, where we can tell stories like, for example, stories of James Brown, who spent a lot of time in Tampa, and of course Ray Charles, who lived here for 2 years, made his very first recording in Tampa.
Well, thank you so much. We want to give you thanks again for coming and talking to our employees last year for Black History Month. They all enjoy it, still talk about you.
My pleasure.
And we want to give you at home more information on the Saunders Public Library and African American Research Library project. For detailed information, you can visit the Foundation's website at rwsaundersfound.com, and you can hear all about it. The construction will begin early next year.